I don't know if you're familiar with my next guest. If you aren't, you should know that we talked about horse players, and you know what? We need to bring horse players up here. And there's no finer horse player I can think of to bring up here than Paul Matties.
I like to Paul a big hand.
If you're not familiar at all with him, Paul won the NHC Handicapping Challenge this past year, but you were a name that I think was probably as well known to horse players as any that's ever won it. Talk about how you got involved with the game in the first place and just in general.
Well, I've been around racing all my life, and if you watch the videos on YouTube, Affirmed and Alidar, you'll see some kids running around in the infield, and that's my brothers and myself. So that's how long I've been around the game, and I know I just always felt comfortable at the track. You know, like even when I was younger playing other sports, I always thought that, racing and handicapping was the best. My father always gets teased when he likes to say that handicapping is a sport, and
it's not.
Well, I know, but he's got some experience. He played college basketball and everything, and if he believes it, then I believe it too. But,
your uncle was my gym teacher. We didn't gamble as much as some of the other gym teachers in high school, but
he was here today actually.
Jim,
yeah,
good guy. So you got involved with the game. I mean, you came with your dad. How many years ago? You're local, right? Your family lives locally or nearby.
Well, between here and in New York City, and actually, I like to go to the Meadowlands just as much as I came to Saratoga, and that's kind of where I met you. And he'll forever be Little Andy to me because there was.
I'll forever be little.
Well, and there's also a Big Andy because Andy Byer, and when I was in college, actually, I got a job working for Andy Byer, and that was my first big break. The Racing Times was starting, and
1990.
They needed somebody crazy enough to do speed figures for all these other tracks that were running, because Mark and Andy would only want to do Aqueduct, Belmont, Gulfstream, and so they found me, and I worked cheap, so I started doing all the speed figures for all the other tracks, and I think that was beneficial to me as well, because I started to learn why the figures came out the way they did and why horses would win. So it was kind of a learning on the job experience.
And this was, and you were going to the Meadowlands a lot back then, as I was?
Yeah, again, because I would see Andy all the time at the Meadowlands, and it would be great because, Andy's the same way. Even since we were younger, everybody would always ask us for horses, and but it would be great when Andy would come up to me. Most people would just say thank you or whatever, and Andy would always say, "How can you like that horse?" And that still hasn't changed. That's about 30 years, dude.
Right. Well, it's a discussion, I mean, it's the way it is. I have no problem with somebody saying that to me, and neither did you.
Yeah.
You're actually, how come you're so much nicer than your brother Duke? I mean, Duke's over there, right? You guys are laughing, they know. I mean, you're nice, and Duke is like, you guys follow him on Twitter? Duke Matties, you should follow him on Twitter. Most of his tweets are giving me a hard time.
I think it goes back and forth. But
a little bit, yeah, a little bit. He might be crazier than I am, actually. But you guys were in the NHC, and you won, and he finished 4th or 3rd?
No, he finished 4th, and I had a little bit of I got a good start, better start than he did. But the reason the NHC, I think that it keeps getting better every year, and this year they had different cuts where you could make, where they would take the field down. And
right.
In the past, it was just 2 days and everybody was in it. It was kind of like the tournaments they had here the last 2 days. It was just bet bombs at the end, and it was a little less handicapping than you and I would like.
Right.
And this was better because you never really had to get out of your element. You kept trudging along and just picking horses that you really liked. And if you made the cuts, you just methodically moved up. And I think that's what helped us both.
Well, I mean, obviously you won the tournament, so it worked for your case, but it seems like tournament plays have changed a lot, where now they're more live money, where people are betting like the ones we had today. I mean, handicapping is one thing. If you don't know how to bet, you're not going to make money at the track.
Yeah, I'm not sure those betting tournaments are knowing how to bet either. It's really tricky. I really like the format, the way they've evolved at the NHC, where it's more handicapping, and I think that's why it's popular too. And I think it will get more popular now that it's. I think you'll see better players win, and I think the honor will just keep coming to those who do win, and it's really been amazing. The feedback that I've gotten since I've won has just been incredible.
Well, it's when people like you. That's the difference. Everybody likes you. No, I'm kidding. You got the trophy in the winner's circle yesterday at Saratoga. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really neat. I first agreed to it, and I didn't really want to do it, and they didn't tell me if I was going to actually be at the Eclipse Awards. So,
why would you be at the Eclipse Awards? You're always there.
Well, because no, they were. Yeah, right.
I mean, we always give out.
They had said that there was going to be they're going to present me my Eclipse Award here, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get it at Gulfstream as well, and so I didn't really like the idea of that too much. But then Monday I took a walk around Saratoga, and basically, I'm sure there's a lot of people here that have the same thing, but I've been here every day for the last 40 years of my life. Every day they've run. So I'd walk around, and I jumped off when I was a little kid, I jumped off the slide, and I bit my tongue, and I was remembering that, coming to the race with my grandparents, and there's actually a spot where one of my girlfriends broke up with me, and
I got a lot of those spots around town.
At Saratoga?
And elsewhere.
Yeah, they always have that line, you care about the pick six more than me.
Yeah. And we are back at the Post Live, brought to you by Naira Bets. Join Naira Bets and earn up to 50,000 points and $100 cash bonus by using promo code SUNRISE. Sign up at NairaBets.com. Naira Bets, racing's best play. And if you're not aware, by the way, we're national now with Naira Bets. You can sign up wherever you live. If you don't live in New York State, you can sign up. You should sign up. You need to sign up. Do it for me. Do it for yourself. Paul Matties, we have a minute left. Just want to mention to people next week, Ramon Dominguez and Steve Asmussen, both of whom are getting into the Hall of Fame tomorrow. Both of those gentlemen will be joining us here next week at the Parting Glass, 8 o'clock. I'll work on a guest or two besides them, but when we get Ramon and Steve, I don't know what else we need. Paul, thanks so much for coming. Just quickly, you got any playing ideas for the weekend? Give us something.
Well, you were talking about earlier, I'm going to agree with you. I don't like Songbird from the Alabama coming up.
Really?
Yeah, so I can back you up on that.
Two bad guys sitting up here. Man, this guy's booing out there.
I know.
We're trying to give you a $20 horse and you're booing us. I mean, come on, stop. We're here to gamble, right? We'll appreciate Songbird when she beats us, but before the race, we might bet somebody else. Anyway,
Yeah.
Paul, everybody, Walker Hancock, want to thank Tom Amos, Javier Castellano, want to thank everybody that came. Want to thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next week.